UFOs in the Bible, Enoch, Elijah, and other figures taken by Yahweh in chariots of fire. Enoch, Elijah, Baruch, Philip, and Ezra are some of the many biblical characters who were taken to the heavens by mysterious whirlwinds and chariots of fire. Where did those marvelous flying devices come from? Elijah never returned. That whirlwind took him away forever before the eyes of 50 prophets and Elisha himself. The same one who later, equipped with Elijah, torn garments and mantle fallen from heaven, hit the waters of the Jordan, which were opened into for the exegetes of the Catholic Church. Elijah suffered an ecstatic transport, that is, the prophet entered a mystical trance and imagined the rapture. The truth, however, is that Elijah was no longer seen, and everything indicates that this episode really occurred, apparently on Mount Carmel, approximately 2,850 years ago. Although biblical commentators deny it, the mysterious disappearance, they say, must be explained according to the literary genre of the cycle of stories about the great prophet. The church therefore considers the episode, as well as many other similar ones, science fiction, but the reality may be very different. The alien abductions in Bible by Yahweh. Another raptured and enigmatic character, if there ever was one, is Enoch, whose name in Hebrew means initiated. According to Genesis, Enoch did not die, but was caught up and taken to heaven in a chariot of fire. Little else is said about him in the Bible. But we have a surprising apocrypha, the Book of Enoch, which recounts the travels of mysterious characters aboard those chariots of fire. In the text, it is narrated, for example, how he came into contact with mysterious celestial beings. 2 men of great stature appeared to me. Their faces shone like the sun and their eyes were like torches. And they said to him, "Today you will be with us in heaven." The story of his heavenly travels is surprising. They then led me to the heavens. I entered until I stopped in front of a wall, which seemed to be made of glass ashlars, and was surrounded by tongues of fire. I saw myself before a large palace of carved crystal, with a floor tiled with glass plates, and the floor was also made of glass. He still adds other strange clues about his journeys. After those days spent in a place where I was allowed to see what is hidden, after having been carried away by a whirlpool and driven towards the west. After the last of those journeys, Enoch did not return. Like Elijah, he was caught up forever, only they weren't the only ones. In another apocryphal called the Ascension of Isaiah, it is told how this prophet also ascended to heaven in a suspicious trance, accompanied by several angels who invited him to dress in their clothes, and how on board that ship he visited the 7 heavens, and also in the second book of Baruch. Something similar is told. Force, it can be read, lifted me up and placed me on the wall of Jerusalem. UFOs and alien abductions in the Bible. Another rapture is narrated in the Acts of the Apostles, that of Philip, one of the fathers of the church. From verse 26 of chapter 8, we can read, "The angel of the Lord spoke to Philip, saying, 'Get up and walk along the road that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza.' He got up and left, and behold, an Ethiopian Enoch was returning, sitting in his chariot, reading the prophet Isaiah. Later both stopped to drink water, a moment that Philip took advantage of the baptized church, to baptize the eunuch. But coming out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord called Philip away, and the eunuch saw him no more. Philip found himself in Nazareth and evangelized all the cities until he reached Caesarea. What was that Spirit of the Lord that snatched the apostle and transported him 40 kilometers? Another literary fantasy, a new metaphor. Aren't these descriptions too similar to those currently reported by UFO abduction witnesses? The truth is that those whirlwinds, chariots of fire, or flying wheels appear many times throughout the Bible and other apocryphal texts. They perform strange maneuvers. They are inhabited by angels of great stature, luminous with strange faces for some. There are too many coincidences. Prestigious researches on the subject are clear. They are extraterrestrial ships. But there is even more. These mysterious objects and their enigmatic capturing functions were already known to Jesus. Thus, in the apocryphal history of Joseph, the carpenter, we can read, "In the mouth of Jesus," the following expression, "And that prevents me now from praying that my Father send a great luminous chariot to lift up Joseph, and that I transfer him to place of rest, so that he may live there with my incorporeal angels." In any case, it is not even necessary to delve into the apocrypha, because in the Gospel of Saint Matthew, where the strange episode of Transfiguration is narrated, it is said that Jesus, His face shone like the sun and his clothes became white as the light. And there two beings appeared, and moments later, the shining cloud covered them. When he opened his eyes, everything returned to absolute normality. The most curious thing is that those two luminous beings were identified as Elijah, taken away forever, and Moses, whose body, after having maintained open contact with mysterious beings that traveled in strange clouds, was never found. Ezekiel gives the key. They were UFOs. Ezekiel had the first of the visions back in the year 600 BC. 4 of them are recounted in the book that bears his name. He is another snatched away, although with a return ticket. Of the first encounter, Ezekiel offers exceptional details. I saw a hurricane wind coming, a dense cloud around which shone a whirlwind of fire, which in the middle shone like burning bronze. Later he speaks of living creatures, of prominent crystals behind which the firmament is observed, of wheels that turn resting on the ground. In short, for many scholars, those beings with faces like bulls, angels or lions were nothing more than astronauts with diving suits, oxygen intakes or antennas. Then the imagination of those people did the rest. Mysterious UFO painting found in old Dominican monastery church. In the medieval city of Sighisoara, Romania, tourists visiting the old Dominican monastery church are surprised to come across an enigmatic image that appears to represent an unidentified flying object. This unique painting adorns one of the walls and has generated fascination and speculation about its origin and meaning. The depiction of a UFO in a painting at Old Dominican Monastery Church. Originally built in the 13th century, the church suffered a fire in the 17th century and was later rebuilt. It was during this process that the new paintings were added to its walls, including a triptych with a strange scene. It is a religious scene that represents a cloud, perhaps Elijah's ascension to heaven. Its shape and position may, however, lead some to think of the most modern representation of a UFO, said Nikolai Teskula, manager of the History Museum in Sighisoara, quoted by the local agency Agurpus. In addition, he added that the vision seems daring to him and probably belongs to the Baruch concept, since it is a painting that appeared in the 18th century, is considered the interesting idea. Honestly, I saw the triptych a long time ago. I didn't pay much attention to it, but on the occasion of the opening of an exhibition, someone from the monastery church told me that one of the 3 paintings had something that looked like a UFO. Many say that it is a UFO, it seems so. It is the vision of an artist. They are like Leonardo da Vinci's drawings. You can interpret them. Raptured by Yahweh. The interpretation of the scene by the manager of the local museum is striking. He directly mentions the biblical prophet Elijah, who was caught up and taken up to heaven, never to be seen again. According to what is read in 2 Kings 2:1-13, after the death of Ahaziah, Yahweh transferred the office of prophet to Elisha, and in the chariot of fire with horses of fire he separated the two, and Elijah ascended to heaven in a whirlwind. This type of episode is repeated in the Holy Scriptures with other important characters such as Enoch, Philip, Ezekiel, in situations where things like angels coming in shining clouds are described. How is the clouds from the painting in the Romanian monastery perhaps?
If you enjoy this video and want to see more like it, please consider subscribing to us and hitting the like button. Feel free to write a comment below and suggest which theory you want to see next. If you'd like to further support this channel, please consider joining. Our membership link will be found in the description box below. We appreciate your support, and as always, thanks for watching.